Hello, and welcome to coverage of custom standard casual matches. This is Caillou, and today we're going to be watching a game between Philippe and AllWhoWander, otherwise known as Phoenix Star. So Philippe is on his standard 5-color upload control deck. It essentially is a control deck that aims to use the combination of Deep Net along with Corporate Ascension / Doxing, which are both enchantments which essentially give you additional effects when you upload a card, in order to is either kill the opponent or overwhelm them with card advantage. So on the other hand, I'm not sure what AllWhoWander is on, but this red-black fetch does tell me that it could be like red-black tradition. This could be Jund. Both of those are decks which AllWhoWander has played before and is definitely like a pioneer for. Meanwhile, Philippe is going to play a Farseek, grab a Hidden Harbor, the Corsating Cityscape, and these two dual lands. Philippe's mana is pretty well set. Can like untap and cast a Deep Net next turn if he has to. And Oracle's Ploy, when like uploading that is totally fine because because AllWhoWander doesn't have a threat yet. And if he does drop a threat this turn, then Philippe can just on his turn upload it, cast it. But no, Philippe is going to be grabbing 2 red-black lands and casting Lazaire's Altar. So this is probably a red-black tradition, or at least red-black midrange. Altar is a card that is pretty controversial in custom standard. I think there's a polarizing set of opinions on it. AllWhoWander is one of the people who is very high on the card, mainly because of the strong card advantage it gives. It may backfire though in this matchup because Philippe is a 5-color deck that is really greedy on mana to be able to like download cards, play multiple enchantments. Like if Philippe drops a Deep Net here, Philippe will super be able to mitigate the general card advantage loss that usually comes by playing versus Altar, because then Philippe but no, Philippe instead has a Doxing. Doesn't have the mana to be able to download Oracle's Ploy this turn, but definitely strong. Doxing combos well with Deep Net. So I think in this situation, if Philippe, I think, really wants a Deep Net, because it mitigates the downside of Lazaire's Altar. It with Doxing, it potentially just wins the game on the spot. So meanwhile, AllWhoWander is going to tap out for Sick Nick. Interesting. I wonder if is going to -2. Okay, yeah, using it essentially as like hand attack here. Sick Nick is, I think, the first 2-mana walker we've had in custom standard in a long time, and surprisingly for being a 2-mana walker is really cool and pretty well balanced. I think there's few decks that want it, and the ones that do make good use of it. So, Philippe did have Zulav Rights to potentially be able to grab Deep Net, but didn't do it last turn. Played Doxing instead. Probably trying to bait out enchantment removal, so the Doxing gets killed. But like baiting out enchantment removal versus a red-black deck feels weird. But yeah, so Philippe is going to grab Zulav Rights with the hand attack. Ancestral Research and Final Verdict. I think Final Verdict may be not dead, but not as good in this matchup. Meanwhile, Ancestral Research with Doxing is really good. This allows Philippe to start because Philippe is down to 2 cards in hand, but then can now start to recoup that lost card advantage. If Philippe draws a land here, anyways, is probably just going to play Ancestral Research and then download 2 cards and then deal 4 to AllWhoWander's face. And hits an Umbrous Depths and another Ancestral Research. Oh, and a Forest. Probably going to be grabbing the Oracle's Ploy plus Ancestral Research here. Interesting. Actually, only grabs the Umbrous Depths, plays Umbrous Depths, and then taps out for another Farseek. So just on this big mana plan. Because you just Ancestral Research, hope to keep uploading cards, can keep shooting. Because right now, this presents 6 damage. Another Ancestral Research is another 6. That puts AllWhoWander down to it puts AllWhoWander down to 5 life. And then if Philippe hits, like, let's say a Corporate Ascension or a Deep Net off of this other Ancestral Research, or just changes into a third Ancestral Research, that could really effectively kill AllWhoWander here. Especially if AllWhoWander doesn't, because in red-black, where are you going to get enchantment answers? It's really it's really difficult to see where AllWhoWander could deal with the Resolve Doxing. So as a third vacated bar, I think seeing a tap land right now probably isn't what AllWhoWander wants to see. I think dropping a Tradition here would be nice, because gain 4 plus half card advantage is great. Instead, is tapping to another Signic? I know, it has a Toxic Scrap Heap, so just going to deal 2 to face. Toxic Scrap Heap is part of a lock. Essentially, with the card Tradition and Currency, you essentially play Toxic Scrap Heap from your graveyard using Tradition each turn, then sacrifice it to Currency on your opponent's draw step, forcing them to discard it unless it was an instant speed card. Anyways, Philippe tapping 3, Corporate Ascension. That's a really strong top deck, because it's another angle of attack for Philippe to win the game from. It keeps uploading cards, so it keeps giving fuel for doxing. I don't know what AllWhoWander can do here. Like, AllWhoWander's only hope is to have a faster clock, but right now their board presence doesn't support that. So yeah, Philippe grabbed Ancestral Research off of the upload, and then is going to cast it by cracking one of the petals AllWhoWander gave him with the Lazaire's Altar. It's a Final Verdict to Tropical Channel and Oracle's Ploy. Again, Oracle's Ploy and the Final Verdict seem to be kind of dead in this matchup, but they also are good at stopping, like, essentially what is AllWhoWander's only out here, which is, again, like I was saying, trying to go, like, faster than Philippe. But any creatures that AllWhoWander plays will just die. And AllWhoWander constantly pinging themselves with the Lazaire's Altar is also another issue, because that adds to the clock that doxing is putting on to AllWhoWander's life total. Tapping 3 Deadeye Shinobi? Yeah, Deadeye Shinobi. So you're probably going to sacrifice Toxic Scrap Heap, bolt Philippe, and then Philippe has to discard the Final Verdict, which is in their hand. I think that's the card that we know is in their hand. Yep, Final Verdict. Unfortunately, next turn, Philippe just untaps, grabs an Oracle's Ploy off of the download, and then kills his Deadeye Shinobi. Oh my god. AllWhoWander has another Toxic Scrap Heap. And I guess if AllWhoWander keeps hitting, like, Deadeye Shinobi into Toxic Scrap Heap and just keeps, like, pinging Philippe, might have a chance here. But Philippe can upload 4 times. Can upload up to 5 times this turn. And yeah, actually doesn't even need to use Oracle's Ploy and Deadeye Shinobi, because it can send 1 doxing trigger Deadeye Shinobi's way, and then the other 4 at AllWhoWander's face. And that puts AllWhoWander down to, like, 8 life, which essentially means that with the Lazaire's Altar trigger, that will kill... Okay, so I think Zulav writes 4 Deep Net just wins Philippe the game here, on the spot. And yep, there's Deep Net. So now, upload once more, and then pay down to 3 life, and kill AllWhoWander. Yep, and now all Philippe needs to do is to pay 12 life, go down to 1. That'll be enough to kill AllWhoWander. Yep, and that's it. Game 1 goes to Philippe. And I'm not sure what AllWhoWander can have out of the board here, because really, like, you need to have answers to those enchantments, because without those enchantments, Philippe's deck, like, ceases to function. But in a red-black deck, you need to preemptively answer them with hand attack or something. Okay, so as we're getting into game 2, AllWhoWander plays the red-green fetch land, grabs a vacated bar, and passes. I think the best this could possibly go for AllWhoWander is probably untap, turn 2 into the Lion's Den or Signic, and then just grab whatever the most impactful card out of Philippe's hand. Because the problem with Philippe's deck is that it is slow. So if you have, like, quick, cheap interaction, you can remove the most relevant pieces from Philippe's deck, or Philippe's hand, and then just go for the kill with something faster. Okay, instead, AllWhoWander is going to be playing out a currency here. It's good acceleration, and then in a deck which is just all artifacts, the final mode really becomes strong. For those of you who don't know, discoveries function like sagas, except once you reach the last mode, you don't sacrifice it, it stays there as a static effect. And you see, like, AllWhoWander really needs to use like this downtime where Philippe is literally just playing fetches and passing to do something impactful to tear apart Philippe's hand. Because once Philippe starts resolving enchantments, unless AllWhoWander has an impactful board, it could really become problematic. Has the tradition, though. I don't know if this is a matchup where you can like hope to outgrind Philippe, though. Trusty Patches does help, but then you really need like you really need like Alter to mitigate each player discards a card, especially when like you're on 4 cards and Philippe is on 8. Okay, so Philippe plays Coruscating Cityscape and then taps out for Corporate Ascension. The problem is I don't think that Philippe ever uploaded a card with Coruscating Cityscape from his hand, which basically makes it a free. Okay, remembers to do that now, putting the Umbrous Depths from hand, hitting 1 off Corporate Ascension. But yeah, and now it's just like an outgrind matchup, and I think that Tradition will be online next turn. But then with only 4 lands and a Patches engraved, it kind of isn't super great for AllWhoWander. And Seal of Judgment on the Tradition, I'm presuming. Yeah, that really helps. So I think, Philippe is just going to Seal of Judgment the Tradition. And then on end step, AllWhoWander is going to crack the 2 fetches and then pay 2 to sack the treasure to draw a card, presumably. Unless he wants to keep. No, yeah, is going to do that. Yep. So tapping 5 for Sorin, Lord of Vengeance, and this is good. Philippe, I believe, only has 2 O-rings. However, going down to 2 loyalty with Sorin is like it is the right play here because now you have 2 threats, but it does put like the knight is doxable. Or Short Circuit works as well. And yeah, now Sorin, like, because Philippe has like a decent number of like pingers, and this just gives Philippe access to it. So I think Philippe probably downloads Short Circuit, uses Short Circuit to kill Sorin, and then the Vampire Knight can stick around. Philippe is like at like God knows how much life right now. 23 is not really God knows how much life, but it's more than a starting life total. He doesn't have to worry about he doesn't have to worry about like a 13 turn clock. Oh god, but instead has Zulav rights. Maybe I could get Doxing or Deep Net with this. I think Doxing does make sense here but then doesn't have enough to upload this turn. Or like download any of these this turn. So Sorin will get to +2 up to 4. If Philippe has another land, then next turn definitely can go download, and then hit both the Vampire Knight and Sorin. Meanwhile, AllWhoWander attacks him with the Vampire Knight. Drains 2, and it's looking like they're going to do something on main 2. Tapping 3 for a Patches. Doesn't really have a way to mitigate, or it could just use it as actually like a Sulfuric Vortex. Using the exile target card from a graveyard mode to start exiling like fetches. So instead of AllWhoWander is choosing to use a discard mode. Philippe discards Vacated Bar. AllWhoWander discards a Swamp. So unless Philippe has like another card, another land and one that enters untapped in that double clutch right there, won't be able to kill. Or actually, Deep Net is something that will let Philippe be able to kill the Vampire Knight. Actually, Deep Net would be pretty good here, because then you just tap 3, upload twice, and then you have to go super low on life. Then you can just wipe AllWhoWander's entire board, killing Patches, Soren, and the Vampire Knight. Oh god, and Philippe has another Zulev rights. Yep, so can find DeepNet. Upload 1, so we'll only have 5 cards to be able to download. So we'll have to leave something alive. Or actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, sorry, never mind. I miscounted. That's exactly, if Philippe pays 10 life here, we'll be able to put 5 cards into his hand from the Deep Net, and then Doxing Trigger, just machine gun down AllWhoWander's entire board. Okay, so interesting. So Philippe is going to instead kill everything but Soren. I feel like you should kill Soren here. Like, pay, like, because does Philippe not realize, or I guess Philippe's going to Farseek here, but I feel like Philippe should have just paid black off the Corsating Cityscape and then killed Soren, just because of, like, how good Soren is, and how letting Soren plus here, I guess Philippe doesn't care if Soren plus is here, and, like, anyways can deal with it next turn. Still, I feel like letting AllWhoWander untap with that could just be a bad idea. Meanwhile, AllWhoWander is tapping out for a Mecha Dragon, which, with the amount of mana that he has, can make it hasty and can buff it to 6 power. It may have only like 4 toughness, which means that Philippe can handily kill it with Doxing plus Deep Net next turn. But actually, this does prevent Philippe from going too deep on life loss to Deep Net. So yeah, it puts Philippe down to 11 life. Or, sorry, 9 life. And main 2, is Philippe going to plus Soren or minus Soren? Minus Soren, create a Vampire Knight. So Philippe needs to have 4 download triggers to be able to kill here. We'll get 1 free upload off Corporate Ascension. Can play black, and then, actually, yeah, has enough to, because, assuming that Philippe, like, manually downloads one of the Umbra steps, has enough to upload twice with DeepNet, then pay 1, 2, download, kill something. Or actually, no, sorry, I was wrong. Needs more lands than Philippe. So Philippe will have to go in on life to be able to kill everything, but might just leave Soren alive again, so just have 3 triggers. So then just pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then shoot down AllWhoWander's entire board. Sans Soren. So yeah, downloads everything, kills the dragon. And the thing is, like, normally having to kill AllWhoWander's board would be like a liability, because AllWhoWander's life total is sitting pretty, and if AllWhoWander like top decks something strong, I think if AllWhoWander top decks a Mecha Dragon and has a land, then Philippe just dies here. But AllWhoWander only has 2 cards in hand. Meanwhile, Philippe has like a full clutch. Corporate Ascension is ticking up. Doxing can kill anything that doesn't have haste. It's definitely a problem. And yeah, AllWhoWander just concedes. I think maybe should have held out for. Or did Philippe have enough on end step to be able to Deep Net, download fort, download? No, didn't have enough life to do that either. So I think maybe a premature concession for AllWhoWander could have like hoped to top deck into a Mecha Dragon. Or no, actually, even Mecha Dragon wouldn't have helped, because before combat, Philippe could just pay 4 life, to instant speed, download 2 cards, and kill the Mecha Dragon. So yeah, there's really no out there for AllWhoWander. So good games to both players. Philippe takes a 2-0 over AllWhoWander.